All right. Episode 7, Who's French podcast. We have one of my best, oldest friends for a lot of years.
A lot.
I'm sure there's a handful of people that watch it that know Trav. For those of you that don't, Trav's Montano. He was, we worked together, my first job.
Yeah.
Dion's in Los Lunas. Had a lot of good times, made a lot of memories. Some of those we don't remember.
Yeah,
but tonight we'll go through a little bit of our lives together and we'll have some fun. Was Dion's your first job?
Dion's was my first job. I would work with my dad's, and I'd do like construction or contracting with them back in the day when I was like 13. I didn't have a summer since I was like 10 years old because they would just take me to work and I'd be their helper. And then when I was old enough, I think it was like 15 and a half, I heard you can get a job with a permit. So I went up to one of my counselors, got my permit, and I told my dad I want to get a job. So I applied everywhere. I applied to Pizza Hut, Albertsons, Smith's. There were a lot of people were saying go work at Smith's, Racks. I just applied. The only people to call me back was Dion's. And so I went for an interview. And she's like, well, have you done work? I was like, yeah, I've done concrete, I've done tile, whatever. She's like, you're only like 15, what?
Yeah.
I was like, well, my dad's, they were always working and they always took me to work. And I was the oldest son, so I was always working. And then I got hired, and I think it was almost going to be, no, I was still 15 and a half, and I got hired in October, I remember that. And, dude, as soon as I got in, man, I learned it really quick. Like, I was just already a hard worker because, well, my dad's taught me how to be. So when I went in, I was like, this is just like making food, and you just got to remember the ingredients.
Yeah, it's easy.
So I did that, man. I remember, like, my second day, though. Third day, I was on subs, and we had this big old bucket of pickles, and the GM at the time was David Adams. And there was another guy named Travis. He was the manager, so he was Big Trav because he was Travis Kerr, and then I'm Baby Trav, so I'll be Baby Trav, that's Big Trav. And I was like getting the pickles out, and they rolled them from my hand and just spilt all over the floor. And then David came up to me, he's like, hey, you're good to go home now. And dude, I was so like, I thought I was gonna get fired. It was like my third day, and I was all nervous, you know.
Yeah.
I had my button up like up to right here.
All the way. It's all fresh out of the baggie too.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
all creased still. Yeah.
And man, I felt so bad, but no one. I brought it up, and no one remembered that day. It's just the harder you work, people don't care about your mistakes, you know.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, man. But I was there since I was 15 and a half. I think I was in the Los Lunas location for probably about 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
So if I know a lot of people, and I bet a lot of people knew me because I was always there. Like, dude, this guy's still here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I got hired at, like we were talking, probably like 16, my first job.
And I was probably, what, 19? Or
18, 19.
Yeah, 18, 19 I was.
And so I'll tell this story first because I don't want to forget it. It's probably one of the funniest things. You know what I'm going to say already? Dude, I'll tell this story to people like now, if it, randomly. I'm like, do you want to hear the funniest story ever? And so it was probably like my first few weeks, or first week maybe. And there was the group that always hung out after the closers, would go out to the cars and hang out outside until it was however late. And because Mom would pick me up, I wasn't even driving then, so I was just waiting for Mom. I was hanging out with you guys, and all you guys were older. A lot of my friends since I was younger have always been older. Yeah. And someone's like, "Oh yeah, Timmy, just come and we're gonna go hang out, do whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I can't. Mom's picking me up." And then so someone, I was like, "Hey, dude, are you gonna go?" Because I was just like drawn to you. I'm like, "Oh, maybe I'll ask Mom if I can go if Travis gonna go." And you're like, "No, dude, I'm not gonna go." And I was like, "Oh, why not?" And you seem kind of sad. And I was like, "Dude, why is Trav not gonna go?" And you're like, "Well, they don't usually like me hanging out with them." And I was like, "What? That's crazy. You're like the nicest dude." And you're like, "Oh no, but they don't like me hanging around because I'm gay." And I was like, "What?" So I was like, "That's messed up, dude." I was like, "Who? What?" I was like, "That's not a thing." I was like, "Dude, I'm sure they're fine with that. Like, you're fine. What does that matter?" And then the night went on, and then who knows, months went on, and one of your exes who was working there too, I was like, "Oh, who's that girl that Trav's talking to?" And they're like, "Oh, that's his girlfriend." And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, I thought it was girlfriend. They're like, yeah. Why? And I'm like, Trav told me he was gay. And they're all, what? What? And I was like, yeah. I was like, we were outside. It had to have been like a few weeks. I'm like, yeah, a few weeks ago. He said that he couldn't go hang out with you guys because you guys didn't like him hanging around because he was gay. And they're all, what? So I was like, dude, why would you tell me that? I was like, I felt so bad for you. Like, all your friends are jerks, dude. And I still tell that story to this day, dude. It makes me laugh so hard because you had me, dude. I was so convinced. I'm like, dude, you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dude. I'll do a joke, man, and then I'll forget to let the person know that I was just joking. Dude, and I did that to you, man. And honestly, I forgot that I told you that.
Dude, I was like, that's not his girlfriend. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. But, dude, it was so funny. But, dude, those Dion's days were, I mean, you know, like my first job, because I was homeschooled. I went to high school for a little bit, but, you know, I had friends from sports and stuff like that, or, you know, homeschooled stuff, and that was, like, my first time, like, out, you know, without, you know, people that I knew from, like, the half homeschool, half school stuff, and then working, you know, seeing the public and, you know, making friends in the workplace and all this stuff, and it was a blast. It's like, you know, and we'll talk about this more as we go, but like I told you, I'm like, dude, you're probably, like, the second hardest working person I've ever met in my entire life. Because if anyone who watches this, you know, work with us, you know, and then, you know, my wife, Anna, would say the same thing. You always were working. You were always there. And I was like, dude, like, how does he do it? You know what I mean? And still to this day, you're like that. You're always working. You're always working.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, I'm like, Trav is just, you know, a beast. He's always killing it, you know. And then, because I started, I think, they started me on, like, on slices. Mm-hmm. And then learned that, and then I got the subs. And I forgot, I forget her last name. The other Jamie.
Oh, Jamie. Day crew Jamie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She tells me, you know, whenever she was leaving, I was coming in, she's like, never learn salads, or never be good at salads, because if you get good like me, you'll always be there. And I was like, all right. And so, dude, I skipped salads, because, thought, yeah, you're going to come learn pies, and I'm like, I thought it was you have to learn slices, subs, and salads, and pies. And they're like, well, you can learn that later, that's easy. We want you to start learning this. And I was like, okay. And so I started learning that, and then, dude, I went pretty much my entire career there without actually technically learning how to do it. I just saw it. It's not very hard. And so I just saw it being done, so if they need help, I'd go throw some stuff together and put it out. But I never, like, learned it. Like, someone sat down with me or, you know, stood with me. And so I was like, dude, I did it. So I was like, she told me, never learn it. And I was like, I went, I don't know how many years, 4 or 5 years. And I never learned it. And then when I moved to day crew, that's like a single man operation. And I was like, oh, dude, I'll be good. And I forgot who it was that was like helping train me for that single man position. And John.
At Pies?
Yeah. And John, he would always take a pie to the office for the meetings or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he goes, hey, Timmy, can you make me a pie? I'm getting ready to leave and go to the office. And I was like, oh, dude, I can't. I'm not that good. I don't take this pie to the office. You know what I mean? So I forget who it was. But they're like, dude, I got you. Just say you did it. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I'm like, oh, yeah, you know, we'll be all right. You know, he's not going to question anything. So he makes it. I cut it up, box it. He takes it. And then he comes back the next day or whatever. And he's like, dude, that's the quality you're putting out on all these pies? And I was like, oh, my gosh, what have I done? And he's like, can you do that every time? And I was like, dude, yes, sir. And so I had to get good because I messed up by letting that dude do that. And anyway, and then I got good, and then now it's like when you're busy, you're like, no one can help you. Like, oh, you got it. You know,
dude, I remember those days, man.
Like, no, you got it. You're the only one. And then there were some days where there was no one who knew it. It's like it really is just you. Like you have to just do it. No one else knows no one else knows pies. So I'm like, dude. And then, but that was like my first little bit of like stress like that. You know, like no help. No one's here to help you. Yeah. You just gotta get through it, figure it out. You know what I mean? And then I remember I did that for a few years, and then I'd work extra. Like they needed help on a Friday night, and I remember I ran board like a handful of times, however many times. But then like going from by myself to like a full crew, it's stressful because there's way more. Mm-hmm. But you're like, dude, this is nice to have people. Like you can just focus on making the pizzas. There's the oven guy and a boxer.
Yeah,
and I'm like, dude, That's nice.
If you're a second board, you're just making pizzas, dude.
Yeah. And that was the thing. You have to be pretty good at like organizing if you're a first board, you know. And I kind of enjoyed that, but I always saw you do that on like Friday nights. And before I got moved to like the day shift, and I'm like, dude, you're just always.
I do moving tickets around,
Yeah.
looking at the times, giving it to the like the specials or whatever. It's gonna take a long time. I'm gonna give that to the fastest board or whatever, and then give the slowest board just a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, that taught you how to just like be a multitasker, dude, and work. I mean, obviously work hard, dude, but
yeah.
But I was funny though, because the same way with me when I started, I was on sub slices. I did a couple dining room, but they really liked me when I first started because I was on subs and slices, and then on Saturday mornings I would open. And I would handle subs and slices by myself, and I was brand new. They're like, "Dude, you're good. We're gonna move you to pie as soon as you can." So I didn't go to salads, and for like 8 years, I over the years I kind of knew how to make a salad. I just put it together. Like, oh, this is pretty easy. But I was never taught or I was never on it.
Yeah.
So I skipped those two, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I remember that though. I remember you would always like, "Hey, dude, can you cover my shift today?" Because Jamie won't let anyone else cover my shift unless it's you, man.
Yeah, because if the person wasn't good enough, no one else knows how to do it, so it has to be someone that was good. And then I forgot about this till just now. I became a tour guide.
Oh yeah.
And dude, that was a blast. That was like a fun job for a while. But yeah, you have to like take a class and do a tour of commissary and all that stuff. But that was fun. Like, and it did, you know. And then obviously, Dad taught me how to work hard. So whenever I went there, I'm like, oh, this is easier than working at the house. You know what I mean? And I'm getting paid now to do it. You know, because when you're young, I don't know how much your dad's and stuff, but like I never got paid. Like,
well, yeah, when I would help out, I would get a small percentage, but it would be nothing. It'd be like $20 or some shit.
Yeah, and you're out there. Like, and so I never got paid. So I did that. I was like, dude, I know how to work hard. I was like, but now I'm getting paid to do it. I'm like, heck yeah. And it's. I mean, it had stressful moments, but it wasn't like hard work, right? It wasn't like construction. It wasn't some other job. Like, this is not hard work. It's just a little multitasking, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But yeah, dude, that's funny. And thinking back, like, we've known each other that long, and probably from like those days, besides you're the only one that I maybe one care to talk to. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or in general, talk to at all. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, dude. Back in the day, man, I was a jackass. But I was a jackass to the shitheads. Like people that were like cool, like you were cool. Like a few people that I was really cool with, and if they worked hard, man, those guys I invited into my life. But people that were just, I can tell were like, they didn't care to be there, whatever. I didn't really care for them, and I was kind of mean to them. Remember the old first board thing? You bring a ticket, and you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like it's not their fault.
Yeah.
But you're like that, just
like
that,
it is their
that
fault.
hard asset pies.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I remember when you came and talked to me, man. I liked you from the beginning, and there was some other people that came, but a lot of people were afraid to talk to me because. You're at first board and you're pissed off, and they're like, "Dude, that guy's so angry over there. I don't want to go talk to him."
Yeah, dude, what's funny is like, whenever you were with that girl.
Oh yeah.
I remember you guys would argue a lot, okay? And I remember I was dating this girl at the time, and I told her, I'm like, I want to become a counselor, so I can help Trav and this girl. You know what I mean? And she is like. That's kind of crazy to say, but if you feel like you want to do that with your life, you should do that. You should, try and help people like that. But then as I got older, I'm like, oh no, that's what happens.
Yep.
That's life. Maybe it is a little bit more, but that does happen. That's just life.
Her name started with an S. Yeah, she was, dude, she was the worst girl that I could possibly have been with.
Yeah.
Especially where I was in my life, dude. She was not cool.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And what's funny is. She was pretty.
And she was a beautiful girl.
But dude, she was like, cause I probably talked to her I don't know how long she was there after I got hired. Probably not very long. But in any interaction that I had with her, I was like, I don't understand why Trav's with you. Like, Trav's like the nicest, coolest dude, and you're like you're the complete opposite of that. You know? But I get it. She was pretty.
Yeah, we actually met at a party. Well, she started working there. And I wasn't, like, I didn't really like to date anybody I worked with.
Yeah.
So we went to a party at Rick's. And we went to the house party, and I was just chilling. And I was, there was other people there. She was there with, like, 2 other dudes. And it was, like, me, Killian, Deja. Like, we were, like, the guys. Like, we would bring the beer. Mm-hmm. Even though we weren't old enough, we'd always find ways to get beer, dude, somehow. We always did. But we'd be the life of the party. We'd come in, and everybody's like, what's up?
Yeah.
So we came in, and I remember one time she was sitting at the thing, and she jumped up. She was like, I don't know if she was like holding this dude's hand. But that should have been a red flag right there. But she jumped up and gave me the biggest hug. And then this another guy was really into her that worked with us. It started with a D. I don't know, can we name drop people?
I don't know.
Oh, whatever.
I don't know.
We called him Boy Dana.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. But he was into her, man, and I was like, yeah, dude, I don't want anything to do with her. I was like, I'm just here to have drink with my friends and get fucked up. So I remember we were out in the pool, and he had a nice pool in the back, so we all jumped in there. And then she jumped in, and she was on my back, like in the pool. And I didn't think anything of it, but I didn't know that she had her bra off and everything. So, and then we got up and we started talking, and then that's kind of how we first met. And then I think we went on a few dates, and then we started dating. But then, dude, it just got crazier from there, man, because she went to Pius, and so like the rich kid school, and she dated a rich guy there, and I remember just like I thought my job wasn't good enough, and I was young, bro. It's like, who the fuck is thinking about like that? I was like trying to find like a whatever to support her needs, but we're both young.
Trying to be a lawyer.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I need to do something, man.
Yeah.
Because and then we went to like a soccer game one time. She's like, this guy, whatever his name was, he's like, he drives this yellow Jeep. I was like, a yellow Jeep. And then we're just sitting there watching this game, and then he pulls up in a Hummer H1. I was like, dude, that's like an $80,000 fucking...
Yeah, it's not a Jeep.
Yeah, it's not a Jeep, that's a Hummer.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, his dad owns like bail bonds in a couple subways. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why.
Dude, those are probably the worst relationships.
Yeah, oh, well, then on top of that, dude, towards the end, man, she was cheating on me and then flirting with my friends at work on purpose. So I'll be like, you're making pizzas, and I could see her in the back, like, talking to Trevor or whatever, and just, like, flirting with him and, like, touching his stomach. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then that would get us in a fight, and then we'd get in a yelling match, and then that song by Secondhand Serenade, it would come on at Dion's, like, tonight,
yeah.
and we're now fighting.
Yeah.
And then Deja and Killian, Trav, your song's on! And I'll be, like, fucking making pizzas.
That's awesome.
Dude, they know.
That's good.
Yeah, dude, that one night, man, I found out she cheated on me with, I don't remember what, dude, but I was so mad, and I was outside, and it was Jess and Dana, and I started punching my window, and I didn't break my window, and so I went to the back of my car, and I just punched the trunk, dude.
I remember that.
And put big old dents. Oh, and then when I went to the window, I started punching the window, and then I remember Dana just grabbing, he's like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. My knuckles all cut up. Yeah, dude, I was angry, man, back then. But I think I shouldn't have been in a relationship like that, dude. That was, like, toxic.
Not good. Yeah.
Like, she said some stuff to me that made me so hurt. Like,
Yeah.
the stuff that she would say, and I won't go too deep into it, but she, like, made me think about, like, kids and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's not gonna... Just, like, weird stuff, dude, that...
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me hurt. So I was out of it for a while, man. But, yeah, dude, that was... But you guys were all there for me, so I was like... I had my support system.
Dude, I remember that. I remember when I remember that happened to you punched your car. But I was like, dang, dude, do you see what Trav did to his car? The guy's a stud, dude. The guy punched his car into the Smith's parking lot over there.
I know, dude, I was an idiot.
Yeah, but I mean, like, looking back, you kind of, I mean, like you said, that was probably the first red flag. You know, you kind of spot them a little further away now. You know.
Oh, okay, so here's another crazy story that happened. We were at Rick's party again. We would always party at his house. He had a sweet setup, so we'd always go party there, and his parents were always out of town, so we would always go. We had all of my friends over. I don't know if you were there that night.
No, I missed this one.
Oh, yeah, so we were, earlier that night, she's sitting on Killian's lap, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I thought you were Killian. I was like, I don't have a beard. What the I was like, get up.
Yeah.
And I was like, Killian. And I was like, kind of like slapped. I was like, dude, what the...
Yeah.
Why is she on your lap?
Yeah.
I was kind of mad. I was like, dude, why did you, like, what the...
Yeah.
And I came with like a little slap. Dude, what the... Whatever. So anyways, she felt bad, I think. So we went in the restroom, and then when you were in there, you do stuff, and we were like completely naked, and then we were getting dressed, and then she opens the door and walks out, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And she just walked out and grabbed like the rug on the ground, and I like put I don't know what I did. I don't know if I wrapped a towel. I wrapped a towel around me. Followed her out, and then she walked to where everybody was having a good time in the living room. Everybody was like talking, drinking, and there's this naked girl.
Wow.
And she goes and sits down next to Rick, and I got my towel. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And dude, Jess was like, she was one of my best friends, and dude, Jess wanted to beat the shit out of her. I can just see, and then Jess is just like, what is going on? So we put a jacket over her, and I bring her back in, and then Jess just came up to me. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you with her? What? What? Like, she put me pretty much straight on that. But, yeah, dude, all my friends saw my girlfriend naked. Everybody did. It was just and then, it didn't last too long after that, though.
Yeah.
But
For the better. That's pretty wild. No, I remember that story, but I wasn't there. I think I only went to one of those. And I was 21. I was of drinking age.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I turned 21 though?
Yeah.
You're with me?
Mm-hmm.
We what's funny is I think I was telling like Ty and Trent, like, dude, there was a bar here. Trav took me to this bar, and it was a cool spot to be, right? That was where everyone wanted to go and party.
What was the?
Was it Maloney's? No.
Was it downtown?
Yes.
Or was it? It was downtown.
Yes.
Yeah, we went to. Yeah, we did. We went to.
Was it Maloney's?
Maloney's was open at the time when Maloney's was before there was a road there.
Yeah. And it was like you're like, dude, I'm taking you to a spot like everyone wants to go. I'm like, dude, let's go. Because we started off at Kelly's in Uphill.
Yeah.
And then we went down there, and you're like, dude, I'm going to take you to a cool spot, blah, blah. And you're like you say, it's kind of a cool spot, but people like to go there. So we'll go try it out. And so I'm like, okay, sick, let's go. And then we're walking in, I'm like, dude, it smells like piss in here. And you're like, yeah, it smells like that. And I was like, oh. And then you open the bathroom doors, and you're like, oh, it's coming from the bathrooms for sure, Steve, but...
Yeah, it smelled like piss, mop water.
Yeah.
But they would like pour
stale beer.
Yeah, dude, they'd pour like you some good shots, whatever, man, and it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Even for like back in the day, it was cheap.
Yeah. And I don't remember what we did after that, but I remember that was fun because I was like, dude, it's like...
Did we probably go to Anodyne to play pool?
Oh, because that's upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sister Bar. Dude, I do remember that, man.
But I don't remember what we did after. But that was cool because I'm like, dude, I have a picture still. I'll show you.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have a picture of us in the phone booth at Kelly's.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah. Oh, I think we did. We were there, and that's when I had Jamie was there.
Jamie was there too.
Yeah, and oh yeah, man.
Everyone was there. John O came out for a bit. Kimmy was there.
Yeah, Kim.
I'm pretty sure Anna was there.
I'm thinking so too because I had pictures from that day.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you even have a picture of us on my Instagram. Do I? No. I do remember that picture. Did I have?
Yeah, we're both squished. Jamie took a picture of us. We're squished.
Yeah, dude, we're in the photo booth. Dude, I remember that night.
I like a little weird fro thing. Also, what was I thinking?
And that's when I was letting my hair grow a little long too. Yeah. I've never been that long since, but
yeah, good times.
Dude, yeah, I remember that.
That was fun. That was a fun night. Cause I was like, dude, all these years, and then Trav was like, dude, let's go downtown. Cause I wasn't doing anything. I was like, that was probably all I had planned. You're like, you want to go downtown? I was like, with Trav? I'm like, dude, I'm dreaming to this day.
Yeah, dude.
That was fun, though. That was funny, yeah, because after I talked to you that day, and I was like, I want to try and find an old picture, because I'm sure there's a bunch, or maybe not that many, but I was like, I know there's some out there, and so I was going through stuff, and I found that one. I was like, dang, dude. I was like, didn't have any facial hair, neither did you. Like, we looked young. I was like, dude. I mean,
dude, you know, let me look. I think I have it on my Instagram.
That was like, well, I mean, yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Dude.
9 years ago.
I honestly remember that.
9 years ago.
Actually, my friend owns that place now. I forgot what it's called.
Knob Hill?
Yeah.
Really?
Matt, him, his girlfriend, and a friend, they reopened it. It's not called Kelly's. I forgot what it's called.
But it's open now?
Yeah, it's reopened, but it's a different like
place.
restaurant.
Yeah. Is it cool?
I haven't been yet. I should,
okay.
But I just haven't gone.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I have that photo in my Maybe I don't. I don't remember because I know I deleted. No, I guess I don't. I could have sworn I had it because I do remember that photo.
Video, I remember that. Jamie's like, because we all came out of the bathroom at the same time, then we saw the phone booth. And she's like, you guys should get in it and take a picture. And we're like, that thing's tiny. We're not going to both fit in there, so we're both all... and I have the phone in my hands. Dude, that was fun. But yeah, dude, and like I said, you know, you're probably the only one of that. Like, I'm sure if I saw a couple people, I would still be like, dude, what's up? How you been? You know what I mean? But like, probably more than that, probably would be like, oh, walk away.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, not really care as much. But yeah, dude, from that time, besides Anna, you're the only one I talk to, really. We'll see Kimmy every now and then. We saw.
Dude, I haven't seen Kim in so long. I haven't seen Kim. I haven't seen Jess. I haven't seen even you, man, like in 2 years.
Yeah.
Or so. But I'd always go to your... Try to go make you guys' concerts.
Yeah. But, yeah, dude, I mean...
How's Kim doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's good. She looks good. She's staying busy. We saw her at... went to a birthday party at the park, and me, Anna, and Oliver were away from the party in the swing area in Heaney Ranch. And, dude, my eyes, I'm telling you, I'm not old, but I'm getting old. My eyes, my ears, you know what I mean? I'm just like, she said Anna or something, and then I didn't hear anything. And then she said it again, and then I was like, oh, and I looked back, and Anna had heard her and walked over there, and I was like, Anna, because I always get in trouble, right? We're out anywhere. And people always know me. Well, what's up, dude? I'm like, oh, what's up? You know? And she's like, you know everyone. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell. Sorry. You know, I was talking to people, and then like that time in my head, I was like, oh, now she knows someone that I don't know because I couldn't see who it was. And I walked up, and I was like, oh, Kimmy, what are you doing? And then, but yeah, I hadn't seen her in a long, long time either, like years. Yeah, dude, it's always kind of fun to reminisce and think about those times. And,
I have a story about Kim. I remember one time I was a manager. She's calling me. She's like, hey, I'm going to be late at work. I was like, what's going on? She's like, there's a tornado warning. I was like, Kim, I can hear like wind in the background. Is it like over your house? She's like, yeah, there's a. I was like, Kim, why are you on the phone? I was like, go take cover. I was like, Kim, I don't care. Like, go save yourself. Like, don't call me. I don't care. Like, you can come in late. I don't care. But I was like laughing so hard when she came in. I was like, yeah, Tim. I was like, Kim, you're about to die, and you're all calling work. I was like, you're cool, dude. I got you,
dude. But I feel like even that, like. Because I mean, not that same situation. Like, I probably would have done that. Like, you know what I mean?
And me too, man. I was gonna before I was manager, and before like I would have done probably the same thing.
Yeah, and so what's funny is like as I've gotten older, and not that you like lose drive or you stop caring, but you just realize kind of like it's not that crazy, and you can miss work sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, when I was young, I would have been like, because I wrecked my dirt bike, and I had like this big, huge cut, and I was supposed to be on pies that night, and I still was on pies that night, but and so I go and I go to John O, and I was like, hey dude, I wrecked my bike. I said, but I'm supposed to be on pies. He said, okay, well let's take a look, and I rolled up my shirt, and he was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, you can get that looked at. I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's not that deep. We're good. And so I forgot what we put something on it, and then we wrapped it in saran wrap and Band-Aids, and I'm on pies. And then he overheard a customer ask me, what's wrong with your arm? And I was like, nothing. You know what I mean? And then he's like, dude, we got to get you off of pies. You know what I mean? And so, and it was like completely sealed. We were good, but... just the look of it looked kind of funny, and so I was on. Dude, what's thinking back? What was like the nice nights? Is when we're like, oh yeah, let these guys try and handle it by themselves. Hop up on Reg, and I'm like, heck yeah, dude, so easy. You just talk to people, taking orders, drinks. I'm like, dude, that is like whenever that would happen, like, no, let them try and do it. If it gets too crazy, then you go. And I'm like, all right, where do you want me? They're serving or Reg. And I'm like, what? Heck yeah, dude.
Reg, drive-through, man.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah, it's a thing too. It's like you and I have really good customer service. Not just we're just hard workers. We can talk to people, and dude, I loved being on Reg, man. But it was like a thing. You're a Reg girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But dude, I love being there, man.
Dude, I was telling Mom, Anna, and someone else. Even when I was on pies, like if you're on business or something, you go take an order or something real quick or whatever, and there's always like this older lady I mean, when I was younger, she probably in her 50s. And I'd see her in the drive-thru. And I would always go flirt with her. And like, hey, miss, how you doing? Did you come here just to see me? Or you come to pick up food? And you know what I mean? Just something like that. And she was like, like, Tim, stop it.
I think I know who you're...
I'm pretty sure.
Hair.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I liked her too, man. And I remember she was a flirt back, though.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I told Mom, and this was like last weekend I was talking about, like, dude, flirting with older ladies like that, I was like, it makes their day. Yeah. But then you're like a young guy, and you're like, and then they flirt back, and you're like, oh dang.
Yeah, I remember one time she came in with a group of her friends, and she was like, I was taking their order, and then she's like, I don't see you on the menu. I was like, oh, that's the to-go menu. I told her.
That's good.
And she like her face turned around, her friends were all laughing, and then they're like, I was like, what's the name for the order? And she didn't want to give me her name. And they're all, put it under this name. And they're, no, we're just joking. So I called it, I think it was like Corona, probably an inside joke they had. So I called it under that, and they're all laughing. She came up all red-faced. She's like, why'd you do that? I was like, well, that's the name you gave me.
Yeah.
And then, but that was the most of it. But there was a lot of other older women that I always would like, all right, you guys make this, I'm going to go help out real quick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's funny. I was like, I don't know what it was. Like, flirting with an older lady. I was like, that's what it is. It makes them feel good, and then...
I mean, we used to have Valentine's cookies with the hearts, and when like a pretty girl would come in or whatever, I remember I would grab like a box of them, and I was like, if the run out was going to be late, I was like, oh, that's going to be it. I was like, let me take the run out, and then I would grab the box, and I was like, hey, sorry for being late, but here's this to make it up, and it's like a box of hearts. And they go, oh, like, thank you. And I was like, dude, I'll just anytime I could, man, it was fun.
Yeah, this is good. And like I told, whenever Trent was looking for his first job and stuff, or probably even Ty, I was like, dude, Dion's was fun. Like, because of the way I left, I couldn't get rehired, and I tried to get rehired. I actually was like, I was getting rehired. I don't know if you know this story.
Maybe.
I was getting rehired, and I was gonna be working at Academy in
Academy, Wyoming.
Yes, I was gonna be at that store, and they're like, were you ever a manager? You know, I was like, I was already in. So no, I turned down a... Were
you still under JD?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the reason?
Well, no, because I just kind of... That was when Jono had left and the other guy took over, and I was like, dude, I can't do this. So I was like...
The other John?
Yeah.
The most shittiest boss I've ever worked for in my life.
And so I was like, I found another job.
If you're watching this...
Right.
Just kidding.
So I'm talking about you.
I was like, dude, I hate you so much. You ruined so many people's lives.
Dude. I mean, there's stories about that dude alone. We could probably stay here for a while. But it was pretty crazy. And I found a different job, and I just said, hey, man, you know what? I'm sorry. I got another job. I can't. And it's because I left like that. Didn't put in 2 weeks or anything. And then I forgot the lady's name who was like asking me the questions to get rehired and stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah. Like, you know how to do everything? Like, I'm like, yeah, easy. Like, I could go do it right now. Oh, yeah. So you can, like, she's like, could you do she's like, we're looking for a day crew guy. She's like, well, you wouldn't be by yourself. And I'm like, easy, I could do that easy. And then I think it was I won't say his name, but I mean, I'm sure he's still there. It was an ops manager. I was like, no.
Oh, JD, he's not there. He retired.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
he retired.
But yeah, it was his call. He's like, no, sorry, dude. Like, that's just the way it is. I'm like, I get it. Like you know.
Well, and I know because I know that JB probably said stuff, and that's how he did that to a lot of my friends that left.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, don't let them take like a leave of absence. Let them go try it, and then bring them back as what they were.
Yeah.
I can't do that, big guy. You call me big guy all the time. Do you remember Alicia?
Maybe.
She's a good friend of mine. Still,
yeah.
We still talk, but she would call me. She calls me big guy because he would always call me, hey, big guy, you need to like calm down, big guy, like this stuff. But yeah, I think it was because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I get it. And then it came down to him, and I said, no, dude, no worries. I said, I just thought I'd try it, and I don't know what I did after that, but yeah, I was like almost back in, and I was like, dude, and I still talk about it. I'm like, dude, like. I always make a joke. I'm like, if I had to make a wish, it would be to go make one more pie.
I honestly thought about doing that one time. I was like, I should just bring in all my old buddies and get all my guys off the pie area. I was like, hey, y'all, you guys are not going to be here now. I was like, we're going to show you how it used to happen.
Oh, dude.
Like, I'll run first board. I'll bring you back, Ronnie back, all those guys, Julian, Amiel.
Kill.
Dude, we would run it there would be no mistakes. It'd just be...
Dude, if that's ever a thing, like like an alumni night, dude, bitch that.
If I ever, if it's like my last day or something, and I'm running a store again, I'll make that happen.
Dude.
I'll make some calls.
I mean, count me in, dude.
Dude,
I wouldn't do it for money. I would be free. I'd be free, dude. So you know that.
Just to have like that old moment back again.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
It'd be so much fun because it was fun. Like, even on like the worst nights, like everyone's kind of tense, and then all it took was like someone to crack something, and then everyone cracks up laughing, dude. It was good stuff.
Dude, it was good in the way that we'd always we'd always have each other's backs no matter what. Or if one of us would get mad, dude, like it would make everybody else work harder. But then someone, like you said, someone would crack a joke or something.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't stay mad for long. You'd just be fucking in it with everybody.
Yeah, and you'd be laughing. It's funny as I remember one time I was JB when he took over. I broke my hand. I don't know if you ever heard this story.
I think I was there, so I probably did, man.
But so I broke it, and I went in because there was a prison order.
Oh, dude.
And he's like, "You have to." So I remember, I remember I was crying, pressing pause because it hurt so bad. And he's like, "Sorry," you know what I mean? And I did it. And after it was done, he's like, "Okay, you can go ahead and move to boxing." I'm like, I'm still pushing the cutter down to cut it, and I was like, "Dude, you serious?" And I was so mad. But that was the little tidbit. But Jean-O, I was mad about something one day, and he comes and he's like, "Dude, I want to be like this guy, but Timmy's never mad, dude. I've never seen you mad. I've never seen you bug. I've never seen you anything. You're always smiling. You're always laughing." And I was like, "Most of the time I am always happy." And I don't know what it was. I couldn't tell you. And he goes, "I know this sounds completely stupid." He's like, "This is the stupidest thing ever." He said, "But if you fake smile," and it's probably like a manager thing, if you fake smile, it's going to eventually turn into a real smile.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not doing that, dude. And he's like, "Just humor me." So dude, it probably took 2 seconds, just like this. It took 2 seconds. And I was like, "You felt so stupid." And then you started laughing. Like, this is the stupidest thing, but it worked. You know, it does work. And he's like, "It worked." And he laughed about it. And then I was like, dude, I was like, it made me laugh because I was like, he's like, "Just give me a fake smile." And I probably know how my smile looked. It made me feel like an idiot. And so I started laughing, and he's like, "Dude, it worked. You're good. See, you're better." I'm like, "I'm still bugged, dude, but you made me laugh. Like, that's funny." But yeah, just stuff like that, dude. I mean, like, in my time there, like, you know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of, like, I mean, not working stuff, just like normal life stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you learn a lot, and from I mean, you take away, you learn from good people, and the other people that aren't so nice or they're not so good, you kind of just try and stay away from them as much as you can. You know, and sometimes they're above you, and it's not that way. But yeah, dude, Dion's, I learned a lot. But dude, one time, JB choked me.
Did he really?
I had a friend. Like I said, I was day shift, you know, by myself, and I was talking to a friend, you know, up on the kid stand, and
were you at work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was making.
Oh, he was on the kid stand.
My friend was.
Okay.
And JB and me are on this side, so he comes up to me and says something. And I forget who the friend was. I mean, that was so long ago. But they said something about 4-H or FFA or something. And I was like, "Oh, you're..." And I was raised the same way. Horses, animals. And I was just messing with my buddy. I'm like, "Oh, that's such like a honky thing for you to say or do," or whatever it was. And even though I did the same stuff. And JB goes, "I was in 4-H or FFA. I was in that." And I was like...
there was what you would say for FFA, Future F's of America, and that's how you piss everybody off.
Dude, that's good.
Because I had a lot of honky friends too, and when I dated Liani, she had a lot of those guys, and they were all in HFA. And like, "Oh, the Future F's of America," and just like shoot hit me.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's probably what you said. No. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that. I said he said I was in FFA or 4-H or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, so you're a honky too?"
Okay.
And I mean, it wasn't offensive to me
or
my buddy
because
I was the same way. I did the exact same stuff. I just wasn't in like the club, and he grabs me by my throat, like his back's towards the kid stand. And he grabs me, and I'm looking at my friend like, "Are you seeing this right now, dude?" And then he like laughed and made a joke about it or whatever. But he got like,
Oh,
mad.
he like grabbed you
Yeah.
while his back was facing the guy?
Yeah, so I'm
What?
looking at my buddy at the kid stand. I'm like, dude, this guy has his hand on my neck right now. And I was like, this is insane. I was like, dude, did you just see that? He's like, what the heck was that? I was like, I don't know. And then he ended up leaving for the day. And it was probably like shortly after that is when I left. And I said, peace, dude, I can't do this. But yeah, dude, it's some wild times. I was like, how the heck was... I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that guy, man. Yeah. Well, they called me and I said some words because it finally got out that he was a piece of shit. Well, I think you know what? I had some girl named Nicole. Remember her? She's the one that found him on Google because he got arrested. They saw his mugshot for like intimidation of a witness, kidnapping, and all this weird stuff. Like he was a criminal.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then they found it, and then they did an investigation. But I remember one night we were busy. I was running a Friday night because I was managing, and he had one of my reg girls in the office. And whenever he would be someone, he would make them cry and like tell them the bad job they're doing. So I went and knocked. I was like, hey, man, like, we're busy. I need her back up at Reg. So give me 5 minutes, big guy. And then I shut the door. I was like, in 5 minutes, it's gonna be gone. It's going to be done. So
yeah.
Whatever. And I shut the door. And then he opens the door, and he had, like, this overbite where he, like, drips drool down. He's all, did you just talk shit behind my back? I was like, I didn't talk shit behind your back.
Yeah.
I was behind a door, but I said it to you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, go home. Get out of here. I was like, I'm not going anywhere, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, you go home. I was like, and then I was running the shift, and then he comes to the office, right where the serving counter is. And he starts like cussing at me in front of customers. And like, yeah, he's like, you know what? He's like, I can't believe you would fucking say shit like that behind my... I was like, it wasn't behind your back, dude. I said it to you behind a door, and I said it loud enough so you can hear. Because I was like, you always... And I was just going off, dude. We're going off. And he's like, go home. I was like, I'm not going home.
Yeah. I
was like, you're not making me go home. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here. And he kept... I was like, you better... I was like, dude, do not touch me, bro. Because, I will drop you right here. And I don't care of how many tours you did or whatever. And we don't know if that's true or not. Because you always make shit up. So I don't give a fuck who you were, dude.
Yeah.
So you touch me, bro. And then if you touch me and I start going on you, all my pie guys, dude, are going to come after you.
Yeah.
They're going to have my back, not yours.
100%.
But, yeah, dude, that was like and then like 3 days after that, like I had the call, like I was like, yeah, dude, this guy's I don't know why he's here. He's a piece of shit. But we let him go. But I was thinking about this one time though. I was like, when you've always been a really good friend to me, but one time, man, we went downtown with my buddies, and we all got pulled over, and one of the guys was driving, and we shouldn't have been driving. But he gets arrested, dude. They tow the truck, and we're stuck in Albuquerque, man. And I didn't know who to call, so I called you. I was like, hey, yo, can you come pick us up? Like, I think you were in Belen at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, dude, can you come pick us up, dude? We don't got a ride back. And it was like fucking 3 a.m. in the morning. We're drunk. And then, dude, you came, you picked us up in your R32, and you had to make multiple trips. You had to go and pick up, like, because there was a lot of us, dude. Mm-hmm. And, dude, I was like, dude, Tim made it all the way, picked us up. And then there was another guy. I don't know. The guy that was like, I was like, dude, do not, like, get his car dirty. I was like, don't fucking eat in his car. I was like, he's taking us home. You don't fucking throw up in his car. I was like, dude, and then, dude, I was like, man, Tim, you came all the way from Belen, dude, at 3 a.m. to pick us up from somewhere in Albuquerque, dude, like, deep in Albuquerque, too.
I remember everyone who's in the car. And what's funny is I didn't remember this story until you said it. But I remember everyone who's in the car. I remember that.
You remember all those guys?
Yeah. Because I remember my last stop was in Belen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my buddy John was with me, and Lawrence, Javi, and all them. Well, actually, Javi got arrested. He wasn't there. But Lawrence.
Yeah. That's what it was, because I don't say Javi was one.
Yeah, and then a couple girls, I think, were with us, too.
I don't know if it was I remember John. That. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you came all the way, dude. In the middle of the night, I called you. Yeah, dude, I'll be right there. And you were, man. And you were going like 140.
Oh, dude,
dude, you were fucking hauling ass.
I had to run in with the law. And the cop asked me, because I said, what's happened to my car? It's going to get towed. Okay. When can I get it? Yeah, whenever you can. Okay. And he goes, you care a lot about that car? I said, yes, sir. I was like, that's my dream car. And he's like, that's cool, you own your dream car. I'm like, yeah. I've always wanted one, and I own one. And he goes, is it fast? And I said, well, I'm not going to lie to you now. You know what I mean? And so I was like, it's very fast. I'm like, it's not like the fastest, but for what it is, it's fast. He goes, turbo? I said, no turbo. And I said, but I could beat turbo cars. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah. I was like, it's fast for what it is. He goes, how fast have you gone in it? I said, again, I'm not going to lie to you now. I said, I think the fastest I've gone is like 160. And he's like, you went 160 in that car? And I said, yeah. And he's like, that's fast for a little car like that without a turbo or anything. I was like, oh, yeah. And he was like, because I was probably freaking out because I'd never been in any trouble, And so he was like small talking me and making me feel better and safe and considering the situation I was in. But that was cool. But no, dude, I remember that night. I totally forgot about that night though. But dude, we had some good nights like that. I always laugh at. I mean, like I said, I don't know who's watching this or whoever's gonna watch it, but it's okay. I remember I took a girl to a party at John's house. Right, you were living there, and.
Dude, yeah.
And so I hadn't seen Anna in years, right?
Yeah.
And I show up with the girl. It was a buddy's cousin, I think. And I saw Anna, and we
was that was my birthday party, I think, man.
Was it?
I think so. I think we were having my birthday party because I ended up kissing a few people that night. That we worked with that were on a break with their boyfriend.
Oh, shoot!
And I was being a little slut that night.
Man.
But yeah,
dude, I saw Anna and I said, hey.
Yeah, I remember that now because Anna was on the couch and you came in. Yeah, dude.
I was like, hey, we started small talking and then we started hanging out and then I was like, you want to leave the party? And she's like, yeah. And then she didn't know that I was with that girl and till after. And she's like, you brought a girl to the party and left her? And I was like, well, she had her cousin, and it was a group, but we were like kind of talking. I was like, but I don't care because we're good. But yeah, dude. I mean, even those nights at the house, that was fun. Man. But I will say this though, before I forget, because I'll forget a lot. But to this day, there's two people that could walk into a room. And I would know they walked into the room if I had my eyes closed. Okay? So my eyes aren't good, my ears aren't good, but my nose is pretty dang good. Like I smelled that tobacco in the car. You know what I mean? My nose is pretty good. Okay? So Anna could walk in and I would know it was her. You could walk in and I know it was you. Because you're like the best smelling dude that I've ever smelled in my life. And I remember one night we were in your room, and I don't know if it was just me and you or me and someone else. We were watching a scary movie that had just come out. And we the party died off, and we stayed there watching a movie, and I saw like a cologne there, on like the window seal, and I was like, dude, is this the stuff that you always wore? And you're like, that's it, and you're like, and I remember like you're like, I was like, is this expensive? You're like, not really that expensive, it's not like anything that crazy, but like, dude, this is it. And what's funny is after that I completely forgot it.
Because dude, I remember the reason that was is everybody would ask me at work, like, what do you wear? What's your cologne? I was like, well, I can't tell you my cologne. It's like, that's my scent. But I was like, if you do want to know, it's part of the GBA. And they're like, what the fuck's the GBA? I was like, it's the Gay Boys of America. We got our own fragrance, and this is it. And I was like, if you want, go online and try to find it, whatever. But dude, yeah. I
bet you had a bunch of dudes looking up this.
Yeah, dude, everyone was trying to I was like, dude, no. I was like, who found it for me? It was my mom. And I loved it, dude. And I was like, I didn't want another dude smelling like I did, so I never told anybody what I wore. But yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a good smell. Do you still buy it stuff?
I think so. If it's the same one, I'm pretty sure I do. Well, I did because I ran into an old friend of mine. Remember John Archer? Yeah. Yeah, dude. Me and that guy were best friends, dude. Yeah. And I actually hung out with him the other night. Finally got to hang out with him. And I was like, dude, you smell the way you did like 10 years ago. He's like, you do too. And I was like, yeah, dude, I still wear I guess I did wear the same shit that I have been. Dude. But there's nothing wrong with it. It smells really good.
It's super good. But and what's funny is like you always say that because you always kept it so...
Dude, yeah, I always kept
mystery.
I did.
And so whenever I found good stuff that was different, I was like, oh, dude.
Yeah, dude, keep that secret. You don't want other guys out there smelling like you.
Yeah. And so, because the one I buy is a woman's brand, but they make a men's. It's not Victoria's Secret.
Yo, that's the one. I think that's the one I wear. It's mainly women's, but they do like 2 cologne for men.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember. Maybe it was. I don't know. But yeah, so like it's like a woman's brand that makes that, but it's not. I'm not gonna say it now. because there's people watching.
Yeah, hey, you guys can't.
But
you guys can't figure out the secrets.
Right? But yeah, dude, it's funny like that. To this day, I'm like, dude, two people could walk in a room and I know who they were without looking. I'm like, dang, dude, Trav always smells so good.
Yeah, dude, I kept myself pretty tidied up.
Dude, okay. It was funny because I told you Trent got all hurt. He hasn't been on. I was having you come on, and because my cousin was on 2 times ago, and we were talking about like just crazy dumb nights like that, right? You're like, oh, dude, we could have gotten in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? We were lucky, we're blessed to be out of these. To have not gotten in any trouble or not gotten. You know what I mean? But I remember a particular night you had with John, and you showed up to work the next day, and everyone's like, dude, what the heck happened? Do you remember this story? Do you remember you?
Oh, or John.
Your eye.
Oh, dude, with John Vallavada, my friend, Big John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember like that night happened with you guys, and you came to work the next day, and dude, your eye was swollen shut.
Like a baseball.
Yeah.
And this chipped tooth.
Yeah. And I was like, dude. But what's funny is there's like a handful of people that would be like, if things got rowdy or whatever, I'm like, dude, we're good. You know what I mean? And like, you were always one of those people. Like, so things got rowdy, I'm like, dude, let's go. Trav's here, we're good.
Yeah.
As long as I got Trav on my side, dude, we're good. I'm down to do something.
Yeah, dude. But dude, I had my friends back no matter what.
Yeah.
If you guys were my friends, dude, I would not let anybody touch you, bro.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Yeah.
Do you remember the tree incident?
The tree?
So we were having beverages at a friend's house, and I don't know who started it or why, but we started like just removing things from the property. And there's a tree planted in the backyard, and we're all trying to yank this tree out of the ground. Do you remember this?
I kinda do, yeah.
So we're all trying to yank this tree out of the ground. Like probably Ronnie was there. We thought Ronnie could have done it. Whoever was all there. Everyone was trying to yank this tree out of the ground because we were going to throw it into that little ditch in the back. And dude, you come outside and you're like, what the heck are you guys doing? What are you doing right now? We're like, destroy everything, right? And so, dude, everyone's hands are on this tree trying to yank it out. You're like, dude, let me see this. So you go and you just grab this tree, dude, and you yank it out. We're all trapped. And then there was like this huge wooden ladder. I don't know what it was for. I mean, it's probably to get on the roof. This huge wooden ladder, and then so you got pumped up because we were like, yeah! You grabbed this ladder, dude, and you threw it. It was, I mean, who knows how late it was, and you threw it into the air, and it disappeared. And we were all like listening for it to hit the ground, and we never heard it. So I'm like, dude, Trav threw this thing into space, dude. You just destroyed this ladder. And we're like, oh yeah, we see it leave your hands, and then it just disappears into the night sky. And we're like, listening, nothing, and we never heard anything. We're like, dude, Travis just threw this thing into space. But
yeah. Man, I was an angry guy, dude, but I kept it cool, man. I like people that like I was cool with. I kept it cool, but like it started in high school, man, because I was kind of like a loser in high school, and I didn't talk to. I had like 2 friends. It was Joseph and John. And I went through high school just like this guy. They didn't talk to anybody. And I always had the lunch where my friends were on the other end. So I'd be by myself, dude. So I bring my guitar and I play. And I play with like this guy named Matt Garley. Really good guitar player. And I would just kind of play with them. But I didn't dress like them. I was kind of like I dressed like almost like a jock kind of. And I did like football and track. And there's like, dude, we're in Los Angeles. There's a lot of douchebags that we grew up with. They were all tough and shit. I remember I got in a fight at junior year. I got in a fight with some dude. He fucked me up in the bathroom pretty bad. And I was like, fuck this. And I just started at Dion's, and then that's when I was like, I'm going to get a fucking gym membership. So I got a NHB in Albuquerque. I think it was on Lomas. It was a boxing gym, dude. And I just learned how to kickbox and box, and I just did that. Because I was like, I'm never going to let some dude punk on me again. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, dude, I learned that stuff. Didn't get in a fight in high school or whatever. I was cool. And then after high school, I was doing like on all the fucking fights. Mm-hmm. And some with dudes I graduated though, but yeah, dude. But that was an angry guy, man. I don't know.
Happens. Me, because Dad was the first one on the podcast.
Yeah.
I wanted Dad on first, and we talked about that. And I said, dude, whenever those moments happen, like you're like, oh no, like that can't happen, right? So and it like really changes you, right?
Yeah.
And Dad said like one of his first fights, he was like basketball star, high school. Him and his buddies took third in the world, 3-on-3. Like, you know, they did good. He's always been a really good basketball player. Coached it. But when he was young, he was on varsity, and then if you get in any fights, you cannot play for however long. And he said he got pushed by a senior, and he goes, dude, my books go flying everywhere. I fall to the ground. He goes, dude, all right, this is my moment. You know what I mean? He goes, dude, I just went after this dude as hard as I could. And then he's like, after that, no one really messed with me. I'm like, but it takes you getting put on your butt
Yeah, dude.
to freaking never want that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I remember how embarrassed I was too because it was in the bathroom. It was like, hey, you want to go do you want to go do bodies? I told there was this one kid recently, man. He was acting like a fool. I was like, dude, what's going on, man? Why are you all mad? What's going on? He's all this. I was like, dude, that's nothing bad. Mm-hmm. He started getting mad at me. I was like, what? You want to go do bodies in the bathroom? Joking. He's like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, dude, you'd go in the bathroom and you just
no face shots.
No face shots. You just fucking punch people.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys used to do that shit? I was like, nah, dude, we used to do more than that. We used to have when I was 16. All the older dudes at Dion's, because I was the cool dude. Everybody, I worked hard, so people liked me for that. Dude, this guy fucking works his ass off. He can keep up with us, and we're. Well, anyways, these guys 21 years old, whatever. We go. There was that at Dion's. Remember that the oil shop behind
the closet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, behind the
fence. Yeah.
So after we would go and box, and, we would get gloves, and then there was a guy. I forgot this guy named Frankie. This is years ago. When I was 16, and then I would put gloves on, and then I would fight guys 21 years old, and I just remember not knowing what the hell I was doing. Mm-hmm. They were taking it easy on me. They're like, this is a kid.
Yeah.
But there were some guys that just fucking laid into me, dude. But yeah, man, we would have boxing matches after, and then after that, they're like, hey, come to a party with us. And I'd be like, hey, Dad, I'm gonna close tonight. I'm not gonna be home for a while. I'll go and party, dude, and I have my first beers and stuff there, but. Yeah, dude. Those are all my friends. I made all my friends at Dion's, and I have 2 from high school, but well, 1 now. But that's where I made all my friendships, and they're still strong, dude. That's where I met you. I met everybody else there, man.
Yeah. Like I said, Italian Trav looking for their first job. I'm like, dude, Dion's was good.
Yeah, dude. It was honestly, it was the best at the time in Los Angeles. That would be you're gonna get paid the most, and it was just the coolest place to be, kind of to work.
Everyone wanted to kind of hang out.
Yeah.
What's funny, guys, I don't maybe Trent, and he was telling me what he got, because he just got a job fairly recently, a new job, and I was like, what are you making? And he told me, I'm like, dude, that's killer. He's like, yeah, that's pretty good. But dude, when I got hired, I was making $7 an hour. I'm like, or no, $6.55 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And I was like, dude, you're doing good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're fine. I mean, granted, everything's way more expensive now, but outside looking in, I'm like, dude, I was making this an hour, and I don't remember what I was making when I left, but I was like, dude, you're fine. You're good. Yeah,
I remember when I first got my job, I was making $5.40 an hour, and at Rax they were paying $4.80 an hour, and I was like, dude, why are you working there? Come work. One of my buddies, I was like, come work with me, dude. We're making what did I say, $5.40 an hour? Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, we're making $5.40, dude, and you're only making $4.80. Dude, come here, man. This is where it's at.
Yeah.
Dude, back in dude, that's crazy. That was some gas $1.90.
Right.
But dude, yeah, that was the coolest thing to me. I was like, dude, I'm making this much an hour. Obviously, yeah, everything's a lot. You get paid more now.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people don't understand. Dude, people are getting paid shit back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, dude. And then we worked, not at the same time, we worked at the same place. You were there before me. I don't know, I think you knew I worked. No, I don't think you knew I worked there. The DC.
No, I didn't, no.
So I went, and Dad's like...
was it after you left?
It was fairly recently.
Really?
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. And I left the job because Oliver probably wasn't born yet, and I was like, I just want to be closer, because I was traveling a little bit with that other job. I'm like, I don't want to do that. And so I applied, got hired, and people were telling me, dude, it's not how it was, 10 years ago. It's hard. And so, nah, I'm good. I'm a hard worker. Didn't think twice about it. No one scared me, right?
Yeah.
And I signed up for 412s. I was like, oh, dude, 412s? Easy, right? Easy. Manual labor, I'm like, dude, but in my head, every time I had a job manual, I'm like, dude, I'm getting paid to work out. I was trying to make a silver lining, right? Oh, I'm getting paid to work out. I'll be good. when I was in Dairy Deli, and I signed up for 412s. I didn't work 112. I think my shortest day was 14, and my longest day was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it for a few months, and then I tested for maintenance. It's like, dude, I can't do this. I felt sick. Or no, it was probably when Oliver was first born that I got hired. Go in at 3:30 in the morning, get home at 8 o'clock at night, and then go to sleep for a few hours and have to get up at 2 again. And did it for a few months, and then I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. So I tested for maintenance. This is my way out of order filling, right? And get into maintenance easy. I like working on cars, and it's different, but I like, doing things with my hands. And the stuff I thought I knew, bombed it.
Really?
Bombed. The stuff I didn't know that well, they're like, dude, that's really high scores. Like, you killed it. But on this, you weren't close. And so I failed, and I didn't do that day. I told my boss at the time, like, hey, man, I'm taking the rest of the day off. Sorry. He's like, oh, you're good. And dude, I drove home crying. And I was like, dude, I can't go back. Like, I can't do it. I felt so sick. I was like, I can't do it. So I got on the computer and found my job I have now. I've been there ever since. But yeah, I was right before this job. And
did you know I worked there too?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. So, like, I remember when you got hired.
I felt bad, though, because I did them dirty when I left, man. That was the first time ever that I never put a 2-week notice in. I just kind of just stopped showing up. Yeah. But I felt bad. I was like, dude, Tim's dad. He's the boss here, and I was like, dude, but that wasn't the time I was dating this girl, the lawyer girl, and dude, we broke up, dude, and I was just fucking out of it, but
yeah, but no, dude, I remember like after when I was in it a little bit, I'm like, dude, like it's like I don't know what kind of person can handle this every day, but then whenever you left, I'm like, dude, like I get it 100%, like anyone who had been there, they're like, dude, I get it. And then I heard now, though, it's changed. A lot of things have changed. It's not as hard and stuff. Like the hours you're hired on
is what you're gonna work.
That's it.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, I could go back and I make way more money now. But, yeah. But at the time, like, dude, like when I first got hired, it was more money than I was making, or per hour. On paper, I was gonna be making more money from the job I was leaving, and with like 70 hours in a week, my biggest check there was my smallest check with the company I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, it takes some hard times and like those things to happen to make you like, oh, I'm out of it now, and I can look back and like, oh yeah, I'm glad I'm out of that. I'm trying to stick it out because sometimes, dude, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah, dude, I did the meat and produce area when I was there, and PDA is this. I still remember it was like potatoes, bro. I would talk on the thing. You like. At whatever. All right, pick 34. I was like, 34 sacks of potatoes?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I would like load my pallets up, bro. I mean, it was hard work, but the thing that was hardest for me was I was by myself the whole time. And like you're by yourself, and like I'm a guy that when I work, I like to work with somebody. Mm-hmm. At least have I'm a hard worker, but I like to be like able to talk to someone. The only time I was able to talk to someone was like when we went to lunch. And then for some reason, a lot of the dudes didn't like me there. So when I would leave my equipment, they would turn my equipment on. I'd get written up for my equipment being on. Or just weird shit. And I was getting write-ups for stuff. I was like, dude, I've never got written up in my life working for anywhere. And I have so many write-ups right now.
Yeah. I
was like, fuck this guy. And then I remember one time there was a guy that he like hit me from behind in his forklift. And it like kind of moved me a little bit. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then he said something like in Spanish. And I was like, fuck you, dude. I was like, and then I got off my thing, and then him and I started wrestling. And we went into the potato area, and like the other guys were like, ooh. And then I got in trouble, but it wasn't like anything, dude. I was like, dude, fuck this, dude. I was like, I'm kind of like, I'm stressed out. It's like you got paid good. I went in at 1 though, but I wouldn't get out till like 3 a.m. Or 4, and then I had to be there back at 1. And I think I did the 3 or 4. I don't remember what it was, maybe 4. But yeah, dude. I liked it for the first time, but then I was like, man, this is not something I want to do. Mm-hmm. And then they would scan you. Like, sometimes you'd pick the wrong thing. They go scan you. Hey, you picked the wrong meat. Like, hey, we're going to write you up. It's like, damn, dude.
Yeah. It's pretty strict. And I had friends, two cousins were there at the time that I was there. And I would be there, and then they would come in, and then I would see them, and they're leaving. And I'm like, dude, that's not cool. Like, there's no way. And then, like, he'd come in and be like, dude, what?
Wait, what was the area you were working on?
Dairy Deli.
Dairy Deli.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were in the fridge.
Yeah.
Well, we were all in the fridge, I guess,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
But you were, like, in the fridge the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And then they, I was talking about this last weekend, actually. If, they needed help with the freezer, they would send us.
Yeah, dude, that here, sorry, I didn't mean to, like, interrupt.
No.
Dude, that's what pissed me off, too. We'd be done with our stuff at Meat and Produce, and we're done. They're like, oh, dry needs your help. I was like, dude, I'm done.
Yeah.
So we would go, and we'd have to go pick on the dry area, and we didn't know where the fuck anything was in dry,
Yeah.
so we'd have to guess what we'll do. But yeah, we would have to help them. But then when we were behind, I never saw dry come and help us out. Like, it would just,
yeah.
bro, I mean, yeah.
But just I would go, and it would be like, it's cold in the freezer,
Yeah.
And then so I'd get another jacket on, but I would still pretty much wear like a hoodie and like my pants and then tennis shoes. And I worked fast, so I didn't have to be in there long, so I wouldn't have to wear the cold. So I'd go pull fast and then get out and like, okay, I'm good. And then one time I got a ticket and I didn't know where this location was. I was like, what the heck is this? And it was, I asked a buddy, Lyft driver, I was like, hey dude, I was like, where is this? He goes, oh, it's the ice cream room. And I was like, oh shoot. And I was like, okay, well, I better be quick. And he's like, that's not a small pool. Like, you cannot go in like that. So go talk to your manager or your ops manager or someone, get your bibs, get everything set up because you can't go in there like that. And so I go, dude, I put on like 3 pairs of socks, the bibs, everything, dude. And I was in there for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And like my eyes and eyebrows, so like my eyelashes are all icicles. And I was like, dude, and you get paid, you get paid more to be in there. But I was like, dude, if I had all the right gear, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
But like I had like bare minimum just to do it in and out real quick. And I'm like, dude, that was horrible. Like my eyes, I felt like they were going like that, like blinking. That's like, heck no.
That's kind of how I felt when I did the salmon season in Alaska. Yeah, when I was like, I did the boat, whatever, but like I was new, so you're not going to be on the boat the whole fucking time. You're going to go fillet fish, you're going to go do this.
Yeah.
You're going to go work. And I remember I was working by the flash freezer. It's as long as a football field where they send the filleted king salmon and they flash freeze it through this big old freezer. And at the end, I was operating a machine where I would move the big old, you remember the pizza racks where the dough was? It was like that, but bigger and heavier because it was just full of salmon. You put in this machine and I would operate it, and it like lift it, you would shake it, and then it would pour the fish onto a conveyor belt, and the guys would flip it and then spray them. But I was right next to the end of where the freezer would open. Like, it would open for like minutes at a time, dude, and the water under me would freeze, and dude, I was just wearing a hoodie, and I had my boots, waterproof gear. It was like suspenders, overalls. Mm-hmm. So I had that. But I just had a hoodie under because it was not that cold in the place. But right there, dude, I was freezing, dude. I remember, like you said, like your eyes would freeze, and I'd go, and every time you'd go in, I was like, hey, you'd get your equipment, and you're like, hey, I want this and this, a beanie, blah, blah, blah. And they would say, where are you working? Tell them where I'm working. They're like, nah, like, you can't get that stuff. So I would lie sometimes, and I just stole a pair of all, and I never took it back. So when I'd go and I'd change it, I would just take that and then work there. But yeah, dude, yeah. After Alaska, I came back, and that's where I went to the DC.
Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break.
I'm down.
I gotta use the bathroom.
Me too.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back. We forgot this in the first part, but
oh yeah, dude.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming on, man. That's good. Refreshing. But dude, I forgot you did that salmon, that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
What's funny is this last weekend, I think Dad brought it up. I said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna have Trav on next," and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was crazy. You did that. That's so crazy." You know, they're talking about like, because I brought up like wanted to go like tuna fishing, right? Those tunas are huge. Some of them are huge. And then my mom or dad said, Trav was out there doing salmon stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot he did that.
Yeah, dude.
How long were you out there? I don't remember.
3.5, 4 months I was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left Dion's back in like 2016. Subway wanted to hire me as a business consultant. I thought I was going to be working in a Subway store. I was like, I don't want to work and make sandwiches. Like, I'm cool back here. But they're like, no, it's different. Like, you're going to be higher up. You're going to be corporate. So I did that. And I did it. It was a good job. It was good pay. Like, they paid me for my mileage. They did all that stuff. I went and evaluated each I know every Subway in New Mexico because I've been at every one. I guess, dude, it's weird. I can remember how it looked, the layout in the back. And I've only been maybe like a couple times.
Yeah.
But the shady part about that was my boss was like, yo, like, put them out of compliance because Subway was, like, expanding too much, so they needed to, like, close some stores down so this location could go more, whatever. So they're doing some shady shit with people that own their business for, like, 30 years. I was like, dude, I can't. I'm going to go look and find something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are doing what they're working hard and they're paying for the stuff. Like, I don't want to be the shady dude that goes in and do this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to quit. I'm done, sorry. So I put my 2 weeks in, and I was like, dude, I don't have another job lined up. And, like, if I don't have a job, dude, I'm, like, nervous. I was like, I need something. So actually, a friend from high school named Gary, his dad did it, and he said he's going to do that after high school. So I called him up, and I was like, hey, I know that you do this and your dad does. It's like, is there any way you can get me up to Alaska? Like, I just wanted to leave New Mexico, dude. I wanted to go. He's like, yeah, I can find someone. So he's like, what's your email? He gave me the email. I got an email. Some guy, dude, I forgot his name. He owned the Chadwick boat in some, like, fishing boat up in Alaska. He's like, dude, come. He's like, yeah, I'll hire you. He's like, but you're not going to be on the boat the whole time. Or if you are, you're going to be you won't be fishing the first time. You'll be doing clean, whatever. I said, dude, I don't care. Let me get me up there. Yeah. So he's like, buy clothes you don't ever want to wear again, and then come up. And when I was at the airport, because they flew me up, and we went to Seattle, and then when to Seattle, I met all these dudes that were going up to Alaska, and they put us in this big old, like, plane, and some guys were like, this guy came out, he said, you got boots? I was like, nah. He's like, they're going to give me boots. He's like, dude, those boots they're going to give you are shit. He's like, when you get there, go buy some, like, really good boots. And so I didn't have time when I got there, but, like, he was right, though, dude. They gave me some shitty boots that would bend right here when I would walk, and, dude, I would drag my feet everywhere I walked because it hurt so damn bad. I ended up buying boots, but I was on the boat, and I did that. I got good, and I was bringing in the fish with everybody else, whatever, take the catch in. And then when they didn't need me, because it was a slow day or whatever, I'd go work and go fillet the fish or, work some machinery in there. I like filleting the fish. That was not too bad of a job, but they had people full-time there, so, like, I would only fill in when someone didn't show up. Yeah. But it was 16-hour days, 7 days a week for the 4 months. So it was like you had breakfast at 5:30 a.m., then you had lunch at 12, then you had dinner, like, at 11 o'clock at night. And the shitty part, though, is if the person that didn't come to relieve you, you're still there for another 30 minutes, like, operating stuff. You're like, where's this fucking guy at? So then you'd go to dinner late, and then you'd hit the showers, and there was no warm water left, so you'd be taking a cold shower, and dude, you smell like fish. You needed to take a shower. Yeah. Then you go bunk, and I remember I bunked with some, like, guys from Bakersfield, California, and they were all little gangster dudes, and I was older than them, but these guys look old. They had a tough life. They looked older than me. So it was like Paya, this guy named Anthony, I forgot his street name, and this other dude, and I roomed with him, dude. And I brought, like, $300 cash with me because I was like, man, you know what? I need cash because I don't know if there's a bank out there, because we went to Naknek, Alaska. So I was like, I don't know if there's a bank out there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make any money. I mean, like, they're going to give me a check and deposit, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull money out. So I brought $300 cash, and when I roomed with these guys, I was like, dude, like, I don't know if I trust them. So I got my money. It was, like, in 20s, and I, like, hid it all over my bed just in case they went through my shit, because it's 24-hour production, so when you're sleeping, someone's working, you come back, you're sleeping, and they're working or whatever. And I didn't want them to touch my stuff. They never did. They were cool dudes. But the first day, because we're going in, and they're like, hey, do you have anybody to room with? And I came by myself. They're like, no, you didn't come on. Because they recommend coming with, like, a friend. And they're like, you can room with us then. I was like, I'm cool. I'll room with you. So when I got in, I don't know if I remember telling the story, but, dude, when I got in, I unloaded my bag, and I was on my bottom bunk, and the other guy took the top bunk. Those other guys are huge dudes, so we had to take their bunks apart and put them so they can sleep. But, like, I remember I was unloading my stuff, and it got quiet. And then I was like, all right, cool. And then I look back, and this guy named Pada, dude, he's like 6', big old like Mexican dude, tatted everywhere. Takes off his shirt. He's like, all right, dude, we're gonna rank you in. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I was in a gang back in the 4th grade. I remember getting ranked in, and I was like, and they were all just around. I was like, dude, fuck, bro. I was like, really, dude? I'm gonna get in a fight the first fucking night I'm here. So then I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I was like, I took off my hoodie, and then I got my hands out. All right. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go for you because you're the biggest motherfucker. I was like, I gotta get 2 punches in and try to knock your ass out, and then I'll go for the other dudes. And then I got my hands up, dude, and I was fucking ready, dude. And I remember I got so angry because it was a long flight, and I was so mad. And then they just started laughing. Oh, dude, you're a fucking cool dude. You're about to throw down with us. I was like, yeah, dude. I was gonna let you just beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, I made good friends with those guys, man. And it was rough, dude, because it was like prison almost. You go eat, and you would sit with like who your nationality was, like the white guys, the Mexicans, the Samoans, the Hawaiians, the Filipinos. Dude, it was just they sat with each other, and I would sit by myself and eat. Because like, dude, I don't have time to be fucking making friends with it. I was like, I'm here, dude, 16 hours a day. I just want to eat and kind of relax, and then go to fucking work. Mm-hmm. So they like sat with me one time. We're all whatever, and then we went the fishing was low, so we had an early day. So I thought, let's go to the bars. There's only 3 bars in Naknek, and it was a 20-minute taxi ride, which was like a $30 cab ride. And there's these shitty old taxis that they would drive. Some people would walk, but they don't because there's grizzly bears. Like there's 21 hours of daylight. They're like, don't walk. Like if a grizzly and her cubs come, they're gonna fucking kill all you guys. Mm-hmm. So I never walked, and I did see a couple one grizzly like 100 feet away or something, big old fucking bear. But yeah, so I never walked. I was like, no, I'm not gonna fucking with a grizzly. Hell no, dude. Yeah. So we drove, and everybody, like all the there's like plants and plants of fishing, dude. So all of them were there. So many people. There was only 3 bars. It was Fisherman's Bar. We were in Fisherman's Bar, and I remember drinking a $14 Pilsner, like this. Like everything's so expensive in Alaska, dude. So I remember doing that, and the guys I was with got in a big old bar fight. And I was like, I'm not fucking part of this shit. But anyways, everybody just like, it got so bad that the cops came, whatever cops were there. And so we started walking back in the middle of the night. So you could still see kind of like some sun, but it was like dark. And they fought these guys, the Samoan dudes. They were right behind us walking, and I didn't know the whole time. And my hand was in a sling because I remember when I was on the boat, dude, this like, big O like the Samoan dude. He swung the fish, dude, and my hand was right here, and he just freaking pulled it, bro, and it like snapped. Nothing broke, but it like pulled a muscle or something. So I had my hand in a sling. We were walking, and then they start yelling at each other, and I was like, dude, these are the guys you fought? And they start fighting, dude. Dude, Samoan guys are huge, and Pai was a big dude, but these guys were bigger. So they're fighting, and I just stood back because I wasn't part of any of it. And then I remember the Samoan guy was on top of Paya, like just pushing into his eyeballs. And Paya's all screaming, dude. He's like, Trav, get this motherfucker. And I was like, dude, fuck. And I had my hands all fucked up. So, dude, I looked at it, and I kind of like do a couple steps, and I just punk kicked that guy in the head off him. I just kicked him as hard as I could. And I don't know if I knocked him out, dude, but as soon as I kicked him, someone fucking tackled me. We went down this like thing, and then all of a sudden this girl comes in a taxi. And she was like hooking up with one of the guys that roomed there. She's like, get in the fucking car. So I was like, oh, let's get in. So we got in. We got to the room, dude. We turned on the lights, and dude, everybody looked like shit, man. Everybody got in a fight. Beat up. Even I was all muddy, but I didn't get fucked up. But like I was already fucked up. But we get in the room, man. We're just looking at each other like, dude, what happened? And then Paya, from that guy was on top of him. He's like trying to find his eyes. So he scratched his face up, and his eyes were bloodshot red. And then Anthony's like, dude, looks like you got a fight with an alley cat, bro. We're all laughing. So then we go to and do some other guys. Like, I forgot, some guy that was like high up in the plant was there. And dude, his eye was like massive. And it was one of the dudes I roomed with that punched him like that. So we're all sitting there, and they come sit with me at the lunch table. I was like, dude, fuck. So we're all sitting together. Now we gotta stick together now, dude. We're part of this. Dude, I wasn't fucking part of nothing. I don't care. Yeah. And then the Samoan guys were just looking at us, dude, and they're getting their hair braided. And then Anthony's like, you know why they're getting their hair braided? I said, no. He's like, because they're getting ready for war, dude. You ready? I was like, dude, fuck, bro. I just came to work. I didn't come to have fucking fights. So anyways, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. We leave, and luckily I worked with the guy on the boat, and so he was like, he came up to me. I was like, dude, I got no problem, man. I was just defending them. They room with me, dude. I'm going to take care of them because they took care of me, whatever. And so they kind of like made a truce or whatever. But, dude, I just remember it was just wild, bro. Yeah. And then I had no sleep. Like, it was 16 hours a day. And I was like, I'm dealing with this shit now?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And then I came back, and then I did the distribution center, and then I went back to Dion's after that.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy situations like that, like, you know, bring dudes or people closer together for sure. So.
Yeah, man. I still talk to actually one of them on. I got him on Snap, but those guys were just like those guys were hood. Like they were telling me they beat up guys for wearing the wrong color. I was like, dude, for real? But yeah, they were pretty cool dudes.
Yeah.
But and then I actually had to be like their money manager because they would get their check and they go spend it. I was like, why are you guys spending all your money? He's like, dude, I came here to make a better life for myself. I was like, well, you're fucking not.
Yeah, spending it all.
So they would give me, I remember they would give me their paycheck, and I would give them a percentage of their paycheck. I was like, this is all you got to spend, dude. I was like, but I got your money. So I kept their money for them until the end until we all left. I was like, all right, here you go. Because, dude, they were spending their whole check. They'd go out. After we got out, at a 16-hour shift, dude, they would get in the cab, and they'd go straight to the bars. I was like, dude, I want, like, at least my 4 hours of sleep before.
Yeah, before you go back out.
And then they would lose his money. He's like, dude, I got to try to pay off. So you're not going to do nothing, dude? I was like... And then he's like, well, can you watch over my money? I was like, do you? Yeah, but if I'm watching over your money, I have 100% of it. I didn't take nothing from them, but I was like, if you ask for more, I'm not going to give it to you, dude, because we're all out here for a reason. So I was like, he's cool. And then they all thanked me, dude. They invited me to Bakersfield City, but I was like, dude, I don't know. Yeah. Those guys are too crazy, man. I don't want to go out there and
get involved in some crazy stuff.
Get shot or something. Cool dudes. I'll talk to them, but
that's cool. Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I didn't know that I could grow a beard, bro. So I was like, because I was for work, I was always clean shaven, but I had to wear a what is those things like
net,
a mask,
a net,
yeah, beard net. I had to wear it out there when I was in the plant, like because they were really strict about. It's like $1 billion business down there, but you got to wear that net. So, dude, I had my face covered the whole time. So when I came back, I had a beard. There's a big old beard. Didn't know how to style. Didn't know how to do. I never had a beard.
Yeah.
I remember I wrapped a T-shirt around to hold my beard down, so it looked okay. And then I started going to YouTube and like guys would like teach you like, hey, this is the way to like style your beard. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I know how to do it. But.
Sick. Now you're even more handsome than you were when you were.
Yeah, right. Dude. I gained some weight. I have this to hide the double chin.
Oh, dude, that's a good way to hide it too, though. Seriously, I have to shave for work, like clean shave for work, and sometimes I forget, and then I shave, and I'm like. I'll get on like a face call, and I'll be looking down. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude! And I'm like, that's why I started watching my sugar and stuff, dude. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, no one I know would go and do that. You know what I mean? It's like you wanted out, so you got out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like, dude, I've always respected you because you did what you said. And you worked hard, and you were always there. I mean, you were always there for me, and every time you needed me, I was always there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, dude, like, I want to have Trav on and come talk about this stuff and hang out and have a beer and just kind of. I mean, for like something like this is like for me, it's like kind of like a little getaway, right? Just come and laugh and joke and just talk about stupid stuff and.
You know how much like I needed to get away from so much stuff going on, right? Yeah. Dude? Yeah, man, I'm glad I came, man. Yeah. I was telling everybody, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go on Tim's podcast. They're like, who? I was like, Tim Henry? Remember Tim? They're like, oh, yeah, there is Tim. Yeah, dude. Bro, it's top 100 on Spotify.
It's like he's making the big bucks.
I was like, keep an eye on it, man.
He's made $1.
They're like, really? Yeah, dude. Man, there's a lot of guys that, like, remember you but never really hung out with you.
Yeah.
But, I was just telling them, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm pretty excited to go on his podcast, dude. And just to get like, and then I was like, I haven't talked to him in like years, man. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I used to always go to I would try to go to you guys. And then one time they thought I was your brother, your older brother, because I was there so much. And I was like, nah, dude, I can't take the credit of the older brother, man. He's a cool dude, but I'm not that cool, man.
Dude.
I remember it was like he made detective or chief or what?
He's fire marshal for the state for a while.
Yeah, well, I remember you guys had an announcement, and you guys he's like, yeah, he did this, and he's here.
Yeah.
And then I remember some people coming up, like, congratulations, dude. No,
Oh, yeah, dude,
I'm not. I'm a good friend.
That's
I could be a brother, but I'm not.
Dude. Those are always fun nights. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take a turn to bring us down.
Yeah.
But I had asked you if you wanted to talk about some stuff and stuff that I wanted to talk about because, like we talked on the phone that day, I'm like, dude, it's always good to talk.
Yeah.
And for guys, it's harder, 100%. And I'm sure for some women too, it's hard to talk, and depending on your personality. But for guys, it's harder to I mean, mom always says like, dude, you're she doesn't say dude. She's like, you're a musician, and she's like, musicians are just, and I've always been like that since I was young. You're emotional people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't like it though. You know what I mean? And like me and my cousin Josh was on. We talked about like wrestling and stuff, and I would lose a match and I would cry because I would just be so mad, right? And I just cry. I did not like do, you know what I mean? And that's how I still am. I mean, sometimes just anger takes there's no crying when you're angry.
Yeah.
But when you just don't know how to react. I was like, I'll cry. If I have a bad day or something, like I was saying, I left work that day and I cried driving home. Dude, sometimes I'm like me and my buddy Tyler. He'd come over, we'd have beers, and we'd just go outside, dude, and we'd just sit in the gravel in the back and sit up against the fence and just drink beers, and we wouldn't even really talk to each other. And then we'd just be like, dude, and we'd talk about life and blah, and we'd just sit there and drink a beer and sitting on the ground. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, I love that because I'm like, I can't do that with everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could, but I don't want to do that with everyone. Some people are just like, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get anything, so I'm wasting my time. The conversation wouldn't benefit me anyways, so... but with you, we've had these conversations for a while.
Yeah. And
that day I told you, dude, I'm just like, the last few weeks I've just been like depressed and just anxiety and all this stuff. And I'm like, I know you struggle with that too. And I'm like, dude, I wanted to check in on you because I was feeling like this. I know you struggle with this. I want to make sure you're good. Like, you okay? I was feeling like this, and that's what it was. We hadn't talked in so long, and then. I had my, a week or two that I was just like, didn't want to talk to anyone, didn't want to see anyone, didn't want to hang out with my family. You know what I mean? It's shitty. But it's like, we talked about like, you just can't snap out of it sometimes. Yeah. But I feel like having a buddy that knows what you're feeling is like, dude, the best thing that could ever happen, right? Because... if family doesn't understand or no one understands and you feel like you're by yourself and you're all alone and no one gets anything that you're going through and it takes you deeper. Like I said, I had that those few weeks that I was feeling like that and I was like, dude, and you just got, popped up in my head. I'm like, dude, I remember, me and Trav had a lot of talks about like this stuff and, I know he struggles with that too and I call him like, dude, I gotta check on Trav. And like I said, I know it's a shitty thing to say, but I think about you more than I talk to you.
Yeah, same here.
And then, so when I was feeling like that, I'm like, I know you deal with this too. I want to make sure you're good. I want to make just. I hope you're good. It's just a little bit. Hey man, I'm thinking about you, and like that alone, I'm like, dude, that was like our little talk. 10, 15 minutes on the phone. I was like, dude, that helped me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, are you good? Are you good? Yeah, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've been struggling with this, and you said, I'm struggling with this, and I'm like, yeah, dude, but like, I just want to make sure you're fine. No, I'm thinking about you, love you, blah blah, and I feel like that's what people have to do, and whether you have those people who struggle with the same things you do or not, like I think it's good to talk about it. But a question I have for you that's I don't have the answer for, and I don't know if you do. But is there something you can do? Like I know I said like talking to friends who struggle with this stuff helps, right? But like if you sometimes you don't want to talk, even if people will struggle with this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything you do personally to like get you out of that? I know you said you don't really struggle with much anxiety, and I haven't had an anxiety attack in a while, but more depression than anything.
Yeah.
But I haven't figured out like a something to like be able to be like you know what, and I can't say that because like I can snap myself out of it, not like instantly, but through a week or so, and say like I am blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have more than I need. I have friends, family, a couple friends, family. You know what I mean? Like, I should be okay. Why am I feeling like this? And then it makes you feel like more of a piece of shit that you're feeling like this.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you do personally to like get you out of that, or you just gotta kind of like you know, like most people do, is just let it run its course and just try and talk to people when you can?
Yeah. So like, I've never been great at handling it. Never. I always will bottle it up, bury it, and then I'll have like a fake facade over it, and I'll be like happy, even though I'm not. And then something will trigger it, or someone will piss me off, and then I'll explode.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll be that just different person. And I didn't want to be that guy anymore. So over the years, I kind of, when I would start to feel myself get into it, I would go out and try to make a new friend. Like I would go out, I'd go to a bar or something, and I'll meet somebody, and I'll make a new friend. Then we would hang out. Then I'll meet another friend, and I kept making all these friends, dude, over the years of just doing that. And because I always felt I didn't want to burden my friends or my family with my problems. I always I was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, so I would move and find new friends, and then I felt, I don't know if safer, but more comfortable talking to them about my problems, even though they don't know who the hell I am.
Yeah.
And I think I felt safer because I didn't want my friends to think or know that I was going through a hard time. I didn't want them worrying about me. But I felt more comfortable telling someone brand new that didn't know who the fuck I was. They can take it and say, like, dude, this guy, like, vented to me about some shit. And I was like, what a fucking loser. I don't give a fuck, dude. As long as I got it out to someone. But I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to be worried about this new person, this new guy that I met, or this new girl, what they think about me. Like, I don't care. Like, I was more afraid of what my friends or my family would think and start to worry about me. And I hated, like, that thought. Because, like, I worry about that and how people feel. And I don't really care what they think about me, but I just don't want people worrying about me, man, because that's like the worst feeling. So that's how for the longest time, that's how I would deal with it. And then COVID happened, and you weren't allowed to do shit. And then when you weren't allowed to go meet anybody. Like, you'd be sitting in your in your seat, and you had to stay there, wear your mask. And it was just a whole shit. And that's whenever I got engaged, and that didn't work out. And my friend passed away. So all that led up, and so I didn't know what to do because I kind of told my family, and I kind of thought what would happen. They would worry and just be like, I was like, I don't need everybody worrying about me. So then I went to like a doctor, and I was going to go see a therapist, but it was COVID, so no therapist would see you in person. You had to do a Zoom call, and I fucking hate Zoom shit. Like, I was like, dude, there's no connection here. I'm seeing you. I was like, well, it's like I'm watching TV. Like, yeah, I don't, get out of here.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor, and he gave me like some antidepressant pills, which helped for what I needed. I felt nothing after like 3 weeks of taking them. I didn't feel shit. Like, I was numb. Like, nothing would make me laugh or be happy, or I wouldn't get mad or sad. It would just be this one person. And I hated it, dude. I was like, dude, fuck this. So in 2021, December, I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I quit cold turkey. You're not supposed to do that shit at all. And I was like, I stopped talking to my therapist, a long time ago, whatever.
Well, they say that's not good for you, like, for your health, right?
Yeah, for your health.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like your hormones are all fucked up from it. You're supposed to kind of like wean yourself off that. But I quit, and after a couple months, I felt the same. But then after that, dude, I just dipped, and that's where I got into the place I am. And then stuff with my grandma and everything going on, my family, and just trying to be there as much as I can. And I'm the big boss at work, so I was trying to adjust everything, dude, and. So I just talked to people, and I went in and I talked to my boss and everybody, and that's how I got this time to kind of like take away. I've been there for 17 years, and they understood that. Dude, you made us so much money over the years. Like, of course we're gonna take care of you.
Yeah. But
I didn't think that though. I don't think that people saw me that highly. I never thought people thought me highly. I was just like, I always assumed that people don't like me or whatever. But I'm going to work hard to earn everybody's respect, but I'm not going to act like, I'm not going to go and fucking ask for it or like
you deserve something.
How do you feel about me? Like, no, dude, I don't give two fucks. But I always just assumed the worst from everybody. That's all because I grew up that way. I always did. And then if I had a good friend or whatever, man, they'll be my friend for life. But on the other end of that, like, I wouldn't put them through. Like, I never reached out to you until you reached out to me. I was like, man, I feel comfortable. So I told you what was going on. Oh, well, we'd always kind of talk, but I never was open to everybody that close. And I think that was like a mistake. I think that if you're going through something, you need to talk to somebody, man. Like, especially your friends, maybe your family, whatever. But your friends, dude, they're your friends for a fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may say something you might not like, but they're still saying something to you and talking to you. You know, you're not dealing it alone and by yourself. And like you said, like I hate crying in front of people. I hate showing my emotions. So like when I get after work in my truck, dude, I would scream and cry and fuck everything, whatever, and yell. And then I get home, I'm okay, or before work, or whatever it is. Before I met somebody or after I met somebody, like I would just, same thing, man. Mm-hmm. And no one ever knew what was going on inside. But I think that's dangerous though too.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in a spot where you feel like you're hopeless and there's nothing and there's no one out there for you, whatever. Mm-hmm. But on top of everything too, man, I was just like, I was gonna get engaged. Thought I was gonna be married. Thought I was gonna have a kid finally, dude. I was so happy, and then all of it went downhill. So that put me in a shitty spot, and I've been in a shitty spot. I thought I got over it, but dude, the antidepressant pills they're cool, but no, fuck no. They kind of just buried everything down until more family shit came up, and all those old feelings came back up again, and I just felt 10 times worse. Like I didn't deal with it back then because that like all that shit masked it until I was off it, and then it all came back up. And then I had to deal 10 times harder with everything else. Another death, another, just dealing with everything. So, yeah, I would say, man, the biggest thing I should have is went to my friends right away and started talking to you guys about everything. Because now that I feel a lot better. Yeah. Like I've had this time off, and I've been talking to people and telling them, and dude, I've felt so much better than I have. I mean, there's still some of that, like, yeah, you don't feel so well, but I feel way better than I did, like, 2 months ago or a month ago.
I'm glad, dude. Like I was saying, like, I know exactly how you feel. You want to talk about it. You want to you don't want people to worry or think anything crazy or whatever it is. And cause I'm like, oh, I'll be better off if no one knew. Right? Yeah. And then, like I was saying, whenever I had, like, that moment, I talked to you and probably my other best friend, Mylan, who heads this podcast. But we can talk like that, you know what I mean? And we could sit there, and the last time I was out, we had a flight at like 5 and 4 in the morning, and me and this dude stayed up to like 1 midnight talking, and I wasn't planning on staying up late, and I said, dude, do you want a bourbon? I'll pour us a bourbon before we go to bed. I'm like, yeah. The wives went to bed, the babies went to bed, and me and him was down on the couch, and it was just dark. Yeah, the light on. I mean, he was talking. I'm like, dude, like, do you struggle with this? Is this how you feel? And he's like, dude, I get you. And we talked about life and friends and, and then I was like, dude, as you get older and whatever it is, like, you lose a lot of friends, and that adds on to it. But then you're like, I'm okay. Like, whatever the situation is, you're like, happened for a reason or whatever it is. But it's still in the back of your head. You think about that, and it just stacks up and stacks up and stacks up. But then you said you explode and you cry and yell. Yeah, dude. And I'll say, dude, like, that's like the least manly thing, right? You feel after or like during, you're like, why am I doing this? But at the same time, for me, afterwards, I'm like, oh, dude, I needed that, right? You like need that. And I know it sounds lame for people who don't, struggle with anything like that or anything, but like, dude, like, that's like, for that little bit of time, you're like, I'll relate it to like camping. Camping's like a reset for us. Like, you're like gone. When you're crying and you're yelling and you're away, you're like gone and you're not thinking about it. And then you afterwards like, okay, and you like do a little reset, right? And I'm like, dude, and so like now I'm like, nah, yeah, I cry. You know what I mean? Not all the time. I'm like always crying everywhere. Just crying everywhere. You know what I mean? But I'll tell like my buddy Tyler. I'm like, dude, like sometimes you just need a damn good cry.
Dude, yeah.
Right?
You got to scream. You got to yell. Dude, and that, like you said, like afterwards, when I do something like that, dude, I feel great again. Like, I said, man, I needed to do that. The thing is, it's scary though because you're like, you don't want to do it to someone that doesn't deserve it. Like, you don't want to be in, like, dude, like you could imagine doing it in front of the baby and Anna. Like, you'd be like, man, why did I do that? Like, yeah. And I do that too, man. Whenever I'm like around somebody and I start feeling it, man, and someone kind of says something, I was like, dude, I could explode right now. But then, man, look at how all these other people were gonna feel that I'm doing this. So that I'll whenever it's by myself or it's in my truck or I'm on the way home, and yeah, dude, I'll scream it out and yell it out and whatever. But it happened a couple times in front of people, and it's not the best thing, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a good reset, though. You're right.
Yeah.
After you let it all out and you just scream it out, whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, we've always been taught as men, like, hey, don't show your emotions. Like,
Yeah.
why
Don't talk about it.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Don't talk about it. Why are you crying?
Yeah.
Or just like, you know, it's your fault for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it is, but some of the times, dude, it's not your fault. A lot of the times, like, you take on faults of other people.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, another thing that I had a problem with, too, is that when people would tell me their problems, man, I'll absorb that shit, and I'll be like, man, like, I'm sorry, I'll be there for you. But I'm absorbing their problems, too, which are not part of, like, me, but I what is it called, an empath or something? But, yeah, I would take their emotions, and it'd be mine for that time.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, dude, well, I can't take your emotions on right now. I can be there for you, but, dude, mine are already fucked up, too, so I'm taking all your fucked up shit with me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm there, and that makes you, I guess, a good friend, but there's got to be, like, a limit to like, how, you know, to how to, like, take care of and help someone out.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of learned a little bit, dude, but I don't have an answer, like, 100% right now, because I'm still going through it.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning, even though I'm getting older, but I'm still learning a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. But I can, like I said, like, a lot of these younger kids, when I see them, I was like, dude, you were in my shoes. I can tell you what to do and what not to do right now. I was like, dude, I wouldn't do that. Like, don't. Or, like, I can tell, like, if they're going through some shit, I'll be like, all right. I'll go talk to them and say, hey, if you need to talk about it, and I kind of hint to something that it might be. And I'll be like, hey, we can talk about it. We don't have to talk about it right now. And then, sure enough, like a week later or something, they'll come up and say, hey, can we talk? They'll tell me what's going on. I was like, dude, I went through that too. I was like, this is like ways to get through it at the time, at this young of age, and then to make it through so you're not stuck in this spot when you're fucking 30 years old and you're like, why the fuck did I tell anybody, man? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I was like 29 when I came out and I told everybody all my bullshit and stuff, and I don't even know if I told you, man, but yeah, dude, I held so much shit deep down inside since I was like 13 years old, and I came out and I just like, dude, I can't fucking do that. I met this girl that kind of pulled it out of me, but like I told her, she's like, you should go tell your friends, like that's some deep shit, like go tell them what happened. I was like, I don't know, like they're gonna think different of me and stuff. And she's like, go fucking tell them, like go, like if they do, they're not your friends.
Yeah.
So dude, I went and told dude, and that was like a big weight. Like, dude, man, this, like, it feels good, man. Like to express like your traumas and shit that happened. Go tell someone, and then I can tell, like I can, if you gone through something like that, you can tell someone else has, and you like, you don't have to pull it out of them, but you can be there for them and talk to them.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna go look for it. They're gonna be like you or me and just kind of keep it down, buried inside, dude. And when they get angry, they're gonna do something stupid, and hopefully nothing to themselves, but like they're gonna do something. They're gonna think of stuff, and that's like my biggest thing right now. Is I do like to help other people, but at the same time, I haven't helped myself 100% at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, dude, like just having that little bit of talk with you on the phone. So like, dude, that was nice. Like I feel like that's for me. Like that's what helps me. It's like not even saying like, hey, can I do anything for you? Because I know, you know, usually when you're in that situation, nothing anyone can do.
Yeah.
But just like, yeah, dude, if you need anything, hit me up. You know, hang out. Let's do this. You know, I'll talk. Whatever you want to do, and you don't have to be like, what do you need? Blah blah. Because then you're like, it's too much. Like I'm not asking for that. I'm like, just like we had a little conversation. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah, dude. You
perfect.
Someone to hear you out, and then the other person know, like I do. When someone talks to me, dude, I hear the whole story, and then you'll throw a couple things in, but then you like you said, you can't fucking fix it. Then there's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna make it better. Yeah. But you can do stuff to like, in the long run, make it better. Like, let's hang out sometime. Let's go grab a beer.
Just be there.
Or hey, dude, if this happens again, call me. If I don't answer, I'll call you right back when I can. But you know, there's stuff you can do, and But yeah, dude, they helped me out too, man, because I didn't call fucking nobody. I got your text message that day, and I was like, oh, Tim texted me. I was like, I'm gonna call him. And I called you, and then we had that 15-20 minute conversation, dude, and it was great.
Perfect. That's what I needed. But yeah, dude, I'm glad you got to come out, and we'll end it with this, and you kind of already answered it. I was asked, the guest on 2 questions, just because I like to see, because it's different for everyone. But the question is, would you rather go back in time? So let's say 15. Let's go back in time to your 15-year-old self. Would you rather go back and give your 15-year-old self the knowledge you have now of how to do things and how not to do things? Or would you have kept it the same and you actually lived through it the hard way that you have and be able to pass it on to future people?
Yeah, so that one's hard, because I would, if I were to go back in time, I would pick what I have now and then pass it on to future people, because I think that's, like, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't know how to talk to these kids. A lot of them go through a lot of stuff, especially like what the areas I worked in, like the rougher parts of town. Those kids went through a lot, and I wouldn't understand their pain if I didn't go through it myself, and I wouldn't be able to help them. Who knows? And a lot of them became managers and experts, and they're doing good for themselves, going to school. But I'm not saying that's 100% because of me, but I'm a piece in that, like saying, hey, this is how it was. This is what I did. This is what I made my career. This is blah, blah, blah. They understood that, and I love that. But if I were to go back in time, I would tell myself to not to chase, dude, I always wanted this coolest car and everything. I wanted the girl. I would say, like, dude, focus on yourself, man. And then when you're 30 years old, then go look for that shit. Like, go build your wealth. Go do all that. That's one thing I would tell myself. Because all the other stuff I went through, I'm glad I did. Like, all the hard shit. But I would always try to, like, man, I want to buy that fucking car. Or, like, I want to date that girl. I want to marry that girl, And it never worked out. But if I just put 100% of my focus into what I did and saved in all this stuff, like, I'd be better off. And then now I can kind of do, which I'm pretty good off right now. But I think I would have been less stressed, and less trying to please everybody, and been in a better spot. So that would be one thing I would tell myself if I were to go back in time. But nah, dude, I wouldn't change it. I'm glad all the hard shit I went through and everything I did when I grew up, I'm glad I did. Because I can read it off the kids these days. I was like, dude, I know what you went through. I can tell. You probably will never tell me, but I know, and I'll be there for you. And I think that's, like, as like a leader, that's very powerful, to help people out like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Not only that, like friends.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of called it on some friends, like, dude, I think this happened to this person. And sure enough, later we find out, yeah, it did. But, like, you see shit. Like, when you go through bad shit and stuff, you can sense it on other people.
Yeah.
Like, and then the only thing you can do is just be there and help them out, make it easier for them.
Just hang out and talk. Yeah.
Yeah, if I didn't answer that question, it'd be to do everything I went through and keep it that way.
Pass it on forward?
Yeah. Dude, like the back in time thing, dude, I always think about that too, but then I was like, man, because my brother has kids. I was like, if I changed something back in the day, like, what if I changed, like, I would change his future, like, I changed everybody's future, but not just mine, so that was pretty tricky, man. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll probably stay away from going back in time.
Yeah. Dangerous game, dude.
Yeah, dude, because you could change everything, dude. Yeah, like the butterfly effect.
Dude, yeah, it was a good movie. But like I said, our talk we had was everything I needed in that moment, and us getting to hang out tonight has added more so to it because I hadn't seen it so long, dude. And like I said, I know it sounds shitty. I've been saying it last week to everyone. I was like, yeah, I told Trav this, and and it was. I know I'm a shitty friend, but I want you to know, like, sincerely, I think about you more than I talk to you. So if for whatever that means to you, if you're having a moment, just be like, dude, I go through it too. I struggle with that stuff too, and she's like, oh yeah, it's like if I had passed away and you could look at the moon and stars and be like, oh, Like, oh, if I mean, I don't know what it is. If I'm 70 years old and pass away in my sleep and you're 70, we'll say, let's see, 70, we'll say 73.
Yeah, I'll be 70. I'll be 74. I'll be older.
And and I pass away in my sleep, and you're like, oh, you can look at the stars, and like, oh yeah, that was good conversations. But I feel like that's what it's all about. And we'll end it there. And I was trying to think of another crazy, funny story about us, but probably some of them we can't talk about. But all I have to say, dude, is I'm glad we got to hang out. I'm glad we got to talk. And for anyone watching, it's okay. You're good. But like Trav said, like I said, if anyone's struggling with something like that, talk to your friends. If they don't get it, they blow you off and don't become your friend. They're probably not your friends to begin with.
True.
Your true friends, like we said. Like Trav, call me at 3 a.m. or whatever it was to pick him up. Yeah, I'll be there. Boom, pick him up. Or a small conversation for 20 minutes in the middle of the day. Just talk to your friends, hang out, make some time. Like me and Dad even said on the first podcast, stay close to the ones you love, the ones that love you, and it'll all be all right. But yeah, episode 7,
dude.
Who's French podcast. Thank y'all for hanging out. Talk to your friends. Don't bury it deep down because it'll become us, and it'll take longer to get fixed.
Talk about it.
But yeah, love you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Dude. Thanks.
You have one more beer?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.